A Christian education is something some people take for granted. For some, Seventh-day Adventists, choosing a school means deciding between which one is closest to home or which one their child's friends attend. Yet in some areas of the world, a Christian education is a luxury they can't afford or is simply not available. This quarter, you have the opportunity to provide a Christian education to young people in the Philippines. The Seventh-day Adventist Church in the Philippines has more than 560,000 members in a country of 90 million people. There is one Adventist for every 160 people, one of the best ratios in the whole world church. But there are still challenges that remain. In some remote areas, resources are limited. Church members don't have access to proper educational facilities for their children. In other areas, witnessing is difficult because of the challenges presented by the traditional culture and religious practices. This quarter, the Southern Asia Pacific Division has chosen 3 areas in the Philippines that will receive the 13th Sabbath offering. Each area will use your offerings to improve Adventist education. In some places, an Adventist school not only educates Adventist children, but also reaches out to the local community. Schools can serve as a bridge into communities that are often difficult to reach. In some areas where it's difficult to hold public evangelistic meetings, people in the community send their children to our schools because of the quality education they receive, and a door is opened. Often the gospel enters a home, not through the visit of a pastor, but through children who have been students in an Adventist school. Zamboanga is the largest city in the southernmost part of the Philippines. Fishing is a key industry and a way of life for the hardworking people of this growing community. At the end of a hard day's work, the sun settles on the smooth waters of the harbor. Growth for the church here has been slow at times. Most of the people who live in this beautiful coastal town belong to the local traditional religion. One way that the church has been able to reach the local community is through their elementary school. Started in 1951, the school now has more than 190 students in grades kindergarten to 6. More than half of the students come from non-Adventist homes, making the school a vital part of the church's outreach into the local community. This quarter, a portion of your 13th Sabbath offerings will help expand the school so that they can add high school level classes to their program. The expansion will add a second story onto the current building and will also provide a library, computer and science classrooms. Hazel Biola is the principal of the Zamboanga School.
Without the mission projects, the mission offerings, we cannot start this second phase of our project.
The goal for the school is to eventually expand to 4 stories and become the leading education center in the city. Local city leaders are supportive of the expansion and are eager to see the school grow. Currently, the school is overflowing and can't accept new students without expansion. The new school will be called the Caldwell School, named after Robert Caldwell, the first missionary to the Philippines. The picturesque island of Palawan is home to more than 1 million people. A mountain range runs through the middle of the 50-mile-wide island. Here, the Adventist Church runs 2 schools. This quarter, a portion of your offering will help build classrooms for vocational training at the Adventist Academy. This training is important because there isn't an Adventist college for the students to attend after they finish at the Academy. These new classrooms will help to train them for careers once they finish school. This is important if the church in Palawan is to continue growing. In the past, your 13th Sabbath offering have helped build the dormitories the students now live in. Your continued support of the 13th Sabbath offerings can help better the lives of these young people as they grow into witnesses for Jesus. Not many pastors wake up their family by sounding like a rooster, but Eugene de la Peña is not your typical pastor. The smile on his face today has replaced the anger and hate that filled him more than 20 years ago. Eugene used to be a gang member and was first arrested at the age of 13. In all, he was thrown into jail more than 20 times. One day, while in court awaiting trial, Eugene escaped. He spent the next several years running from the law. One day, Eugene was introduced to Pastor Nelson Paulo, Pastor Paulo wasn't fazed by Eugene's rough past. With true Christian love, he accepted Eugene and helped him turn his life around.
So I was a little hesitant, but I know God provided a way that I would make friendship with him.
Pastor Paulo taught Eugene how to pray, and a decision to accept Jesus soon followed. Eugene then made another choice.
During the time, my perspective was changed, my desire, my priority. So I decided to go back to school, despite of my age.
Today, Eugene is a pastor and the youth director for a conference in the Philippines. Once a week, he visits local jail cells and reaches out to people who were once just like him. He can relate to them in a way that most other pastors can't. Eugene knows where each one of these men has come from and the journey that they are on. He has been in their shoes and can tell them that there is a God who is willing to change their lives, to forgive them for all their sins and past transgressions. The prisoners react positively to Eugene's message. Some ask him to pray for them so that they can find peace and forgiveness in their troubled lives. Eugene feels that the prisoners accept him and the message that he freely shares with them.
You know, inmates have their own invented lingo. They have their language, so I can easily have access to their hearts maybe because I know their language. Maybe because I was there.
Pastors around the world are changing lives every day. Each one brings a unique gift that God has given them to be part of their ministry. Eugene's life changed when he decided to accept Jesus and when he decided to go to an Adventist school. When you support the mission offering, you are helping to provide educational opportunities to people like Eugene. This quarter, the 13th Sabbath offering will go to help Adventist schools in the Philippines where young people can hear God's call. Thank you for your prayers and support of mission. Your continued support of the mission offering has allowed the Seventh-day Adventist Church to grow over the years. There are many challenges that lay ahead, but with God's blessing and your prayers and support, the world can be reached. People will learn about Jesus.